been having a little snacks, and we got a couple guests here, so this is kind of a volunteer group here, shall we say? And Larry, Larry, head over in the center there. We're going to kind of be passing the mic around, but again, I want to say thank you for those of you that, I want to thank all of you for giving, number one, but we met that $3,000 match, and we did that just at the end of our last hour, so maybe 40 minutes ago, and we're happy about that, obviously, to say the least, and, you took you a couple hours, but it doesn't matter, slow and steady, you made it to the $3,000, and so, like I said earlier, when you gave $20, if you gave $20, it turned into 40. If you gave us 40, it turned into 80. So, we want to thank you for that. And this 5 o'clock show here, shall we say, is, well, I don't know. I'm going to call it the education show, the volunteer show. Some of the people that I know Scott's mentioned all through the day that we couldn't do it without you folks there on your donations, but we really couldn't do all the things we do without the help of volunteers. And the biggest need for volunteers, of course, is in the summer months. It's not the only time we need volunteers, but that's the biggest demand. And we've got Larry here and Chris, the McRaes. They've been here quite a bit this year, and we were just reminiscing a little bit about some of the past seasons with them, but I want to ask them some questions about, and of course, I got to tell you, I'm in my recruiting mode, so no, winter time is the time to recruit help for the 2016 season, so it's like I'm looking for the next team members to add to our current team. And, when people ask here at the Bear Center, they'll come here and say, wow, this is so cool. What would it be like to volunteer here? I used to start to answer them myself, and I thought, I don't know. Why don't I just have them talk to a volunteer that's maybe here on that day? Because those are the people that are actually doing the volunteering. So I guess I'd like to ask both of you, and you can kind of pass the mic however you want. What's it like? I mean, now you've been at it for, I don't know, just kind of reflect over a couple things. And what if there's potential volunteers out there that would like to be a bear educator, here's your opportunity to talk to them. So there you go. You want to go first? I'll let you go.
Scary. Let me sum it up. At first, it's scary. We went through the initial training, and of course, they want to stress the fact that you need to be professional, that you need to constantly give the right answers, and Lord knows we don't always give the right answers. And so that was the scary part. Geez, am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to do something incorrect? These people are very professional, and where do I go from here? And anyway, scary. But you get over that. The more you learn, the less scary it is. Speaking to people, first of all, that breaking ice is so tough. People come in here and you go, well, I'm not sure what level they are in terms of how much information they know and what can I add. Am I going to sound stupid? Those kinds of things. And you don't. Break the ice, and you find that a lot of people that come to the Bear Center are people that love nature. And as long as you do, then you have something in common. And you can break the ice with that. And then you begin to talk about things that you know. And maybe the knowledge that you've gained is small at first. And it was for me the first year. I did not know a lot about bears, but I wanted to. And so I began to read everything on the wall, and I began to constantly look at posters and listen every time. For instance, one of the interns did a talk. You listen to every word. I love Sharon's stories. My God, I could sit and listen to her all day long. I love her stories. And with every story, there's some kind of fact or hidden information in there that you can pick out. I want to call them nuggets. She always has nuggets that she's constantly dropping, golden nuggets of information that you pick up and say, well, yeah, this is good. I'm saving this. And so pretty soon you're not scared anymore. As a matter of fact, you're looking for people to say, hey, I've got a nugget I want to share with you or with you. And in the meantime, we can take a look at the bears and enjoy that activity together. And so what is it like? Scary. And then very quickly that goes away and it turns to fun, and then it turns to excitement, and then it turns to reward. So you leave at the end of the day with a pocket full of nuggets. And to me, that's what this is all about.
I'm going to ask you a second question, and then I'm going to let Sharon have an opportunity here, and we'll go back and forth. But I got to say, Larry, I was really excited. I remember well, both of you had done. You're a great team together, and of course we do behind the scenes every day. And you folks had done a number of them, and I think I was on the mic doing one of the podcasts at 11, 1, or 4, and I can't remember how it came about, but Larry said, well, I'd like to try that, do one of the podcasts at 11, 1, or 4, and it's, of course, dealing with a microphone, and that's, well, you see what the bears are doing, and you got to, actually the bears create the script for you. So, and you're one of the very few volunteers we have that really, number one, stepped up to the plate and really doing a great job. So talk a little bit about that, because that's an activity that I think we have other volunteers that, once you learn the material and the behavior, tell a group what it was like for you, if you remember. I think you do.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I do remember, and it goes back to what I was just saying a few minutes ago about gathering information. I guess I have somewhere in me the desire to teach and to share, and of course, I have a wife that is constantly encouraging me. Let's do this. Let's do this. Why don't you try that? And helping me build and develop enough. I guess, thank you. See what I mean? Confidence to actually do it. And so, yeah, that's what that was all about. I thought, okay, I've got enough information. I think I got it right. Yeah, I'd like to try to do that and share with not only the people here, but the people out there, and just let them know what the day is like. And so I started off with talking about the weather and the time. If it's 1 o'clock, it must be time for viewing bears. I remember saying that a few times, and absolutely, of course, any time's a time for viewing bears. So, but it took a push from this lady, I think, to actually get me there, and then of course stepping out and doing it.
Good. I have a question pointed for you.
Oh.
Go right ahead.
Well, it's kind of interesting about the microphone. For 25 years, I've been a police dispatcher, and I've always had at least one, probably 2 or 3 microphones surrounding me, talking to people 12 hours a day for the last 25 years. Never been afraid to talk to people, but I'm not seeing the people at my job. I'm talking to a microphone. I know they're all out there and they're all listening, but I don't have to look at their faces. So I'm a little more nervous than he is to talk to people. I'm not exactly the teacher, stand up in front of people. But I absolutely love behind the scenes talking one-to-one with people, walking back. After they've seen the bears and listened to him, then there's all these extra questions that they didn't get a chance to ask or comments. So I love the walk back and forth talking with everybody, and I don't enjoy the in front of everybody quite as much as him, but I do love sharing every bit of information that I can. And it's enjoyable being a bear educator, and the people that come here are people that love the bears, and they want to learn about the bears, or they wouldn't be coming here. So it's an easy group to talk to because you know what they're here for. So.
Well, you answered the question I was going to ask, and that is something that is we've really worked hard at, and with the help we have here, like the bear educators, is have folks on the floor, and now we got 2 floors. We've got the Bear Center and we've got the Ecology Hall, where we have folks like yourself, people come in, and there are a lot of people in these groups that, well, I don't want to ask a question in front of the group. I'm I don't want to do that. But when they get back in the building from behind the scenes and the crowd is dispersed, all of a sudden they got all kinds of questions. And when they got the questions, we've got to be available for some answers. So I want to turn the mic over to Sharon. She's the Bear curator here, and you must have at least 1 or 2 questions.
Well, my first question, because I'm from the state called Michigan. I just want to know where you folks are from.
From Michigan.
Isn't that cool? I find that just so amazing that these neat bear people come here from Michigan. We were talking a little bit earlier before we came out here, and Larry and Chris were both sharing unique personalities and how they've learned to watch the expressions that the bears have. And I just wanted them to talk a little bit about that, because it's an important part of learning bear behavior, is to know the expressions on their body language and their faces, especially their eyes, their ears, that area. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and they can share this and talk about that.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, one of the things we were talking about when we went behind the scenes, normally back there would be one person talking to the audience and sharing information and that sort of thing. And the other person, and usually that was Chris, would be feeding the bears and keeping their attention. And I mentioned that one of the rewarding things was that when you see the bears coming out, or when I would watch as Chris would give the bear a piece of food, first of all, their eyes would be on each other. And there was that sense of trust, that sense of being at ease that would be shared between the 2 of them. I didn't see that there was fear, that the bear was afraid of this person, or this is new, or what are they going to do, that sort of thing. And there was a smooth rhythm to their motions. Honey Bear, which is probably the more difficult bear to gain her trust, would have a very smooth motion. When Chris would place the food out there, she would reach up and get it. It wasn't a jerking motion as though she was afraid. And so you see that look between the 2 of them. And Chris had such a trust for the bears. And they knew her voice, they knew her actions, and that was just so pleasing to see that kind of thing. And when the bears came out, and we called her the bucket lady because she had a bucket of the peanuts or whatever it was. The bear just knew that who this person was. Chris would always call their name or talk to them, and you almost wanted to stop talking and say, this is the real picture here. This is what's taking place. Watch this interaction between human being and nature, and see how smooth this is and how it should actually be.
Yes. And the people that would see us, or myself, the other educators and interns, feeding these large 600-700-pound bears, are amazed that you can just put your fingers right to their mouth and they take it so gently. And that does take a little bit of time to develop between yourself and the bear. So a lot of people want to do it, and they kind of walk up behind you. I don't suppose I could do that, just 1 peanut. And I'm like, no, not today. If you'd like to get involved in our Bear Educator course, you're more than welcome to contact us, and it's something that, if you want to do this, you enjoy wildlife and you want to help take care of the bears and educate, then get on our website and check it out.
I don't suppose either of you have a favorite bear here, but if you were to have a favorite bear here, maybe share which one that bear would be, or are they all equal to you? Because, you know, in my eyes, they're all equal. So that's not true, but I'll let you talk.
I know that.
Without a doubt, honey bear.
Oh. Well, without a doubt, Ted. And I don't know why. I guess just he's the biggest, just the gentlest bear for his size. And the first time I came to the Bear Center as a visitor, he is the bear that I saw being fed out in front of the viewing window, and just always had a special place for Ted.
Well, I guess you've shared your experiences here. If you were to tell anyone out there listening that would like to volunteer, or perhaps even have a student in mind that might be interested in our intern program, what would you tell them?
Number one, it's an excellent program. It's handled professionally. Information is given to you. You're not just thrown out I hate to use the term, but I know you had somebody earlier throwing you out to the wolves. But it's just done so well, and there's always support. So it's a good program to learn. It's a program that's very flexible, and so if you're one of those people that likes to slowly break into the process, this is the place. If you're somebody that wants to jump in with both feet and give it 110% the first day, this is the place. The place has been extremely flexible with our schedules. This year we've been able to give a lot of time. Last year we didn't give as much time. Our lives were different. We're retired now, etc. We're able to do things. You've been very good with us in terms of saying, hey, would you like to do a little more, or is there something you feel comfortable with or you don't feel comfortable with, etc. And so it's been a wonderful volunteer program in that sense. Very flexible, as I said, with the hours. The pay's not good. But that's okay. Not everything is, but it's a good program in that sense.
Well, I want to wrap our session up with one question. Of course, you know, I'm working for the future here, not just 2016, but 17 and whatever. But well, I got to ask you, what's your plans for 2016, and is the Bear Center a part of that?
Oh, absolutely. We, as my husband said, we just retired last year, and we're in the process of settling in Minnesota permanently. So we're going to be around here for a long time, and hopefully we can do a lot more than what we even did this year. So it's absolutely in our future for as long as the Bear Center's here and we're able.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't go any farther than that. We're looking forward to next year. We're looking forward to working with our bears, and if our numbers change, that's wonderful. If they stay the same, that's wonderful. We have some great, absolutely wonderful bears here that can be identified with all of the bears in North America, and we can share and teach. I can't believe that we've handed out every piece of information there is about them, and so we've got a long road to go, and we want to be part of that.
Well, for those of you that are listening, I hope Chris and Larry have given you an insight into what it's like to be here as volunteers. And, of course, you can sign up if you want to be a volunteer at Bear Educator, or any volunteer, actually, for virtual volunteers. Is go to bear.org on the volunteer tab page. There it's got some of the vacancies we have and what we're looking for. And, of course, if you want more specific information, you want to talk to either Sharon or I about the program for 2016, we're going to have a whole summer full of this ecology hall where we only had half a summer because it was mid-July when we opened, so we've got all summer long with the ecology hall. And, of course, and Scott's mentioned earlier today a couple times about what we're going to have in the other building, some upgrades, and Doc's calling it a facelift. So I think it'll be an interesting summer, and certainly the help will be needed because, you know, when you set the bar as high as Scott and everybody has set it about programs and the environment and having visitors feel welcome to come here, all we want to do is, well, we don't want to maintain anything. We want to just do better. So, and that takes people, dedicated people that are willing to come on in and learn. And just like Larry and Chris said, it's a process, but it's fun, and we'd like to have you here. So we're going to close this hour out at 5 o'clock, and I'm supposed to figure out what time it is here. It is 5:20, so in 40 minutes, boy, we're getting this down. At 40 minutes from now, we'll have the 6 o'clock hour coming, and now the evening is coming. So for those of you that have not had, you know, well, we should have Ted Espresso coffee. I'm missing the beat here. I'm going to need some of that espresso for the last few hours here of the night, and we're going to keep watching those leaderboards, and we're hoping to move those numbers a little bit more. But stay with us. We'll have something at 6 o'clock, and I want to thank Chris and Larry for coming in tonight. Thank you very much, and see you in 40 minutes.